Eagles fans, this is how it all went down in the Motor City. Josh Sweat with the first sack of the day on Jared Goff. Boston Scott ran it in for a touchdown. Sweat said, one's not enough. Let's go for two. There he is, wrapping up Jared Goff again. Derek Barnett said, you can't have all the fun. Party at the quarterback today. Then Jordan Howard, welcome to the end zone. Finds the end zone for a touchdown. Milton Williams, the rookie, getting his first sack of his career. And Boston Scott in the third quarter, he wanted to run it in again. So he picked up his second touchdown of the day. Jordan Howard said, you can't have two. He goes in for another himself. Now here it is, the big play. Here's some trick or treat on your Halloween. Jared Goff looking for DeAndre Swift. Avonte Maddox punches it out. Darius Slay for the scoop and score, returning to Detroit in the way that only Darius Slay knows how. Eagles fans, welcome into the Postgame Show presented by Rico. I'm Gabriella DiGiovanni here with Fran Duffy and Grease. We got to win. We got to win, fellas. It looked good. It was against a winless team, of course. We can't kind of tiptoe around that. But the Eagles played well. They played very well. We saw some guys getting new opportunities here today, and there's definitely bright spots to draw on to after today.
Yeah, I mean, in the NFL, a win is a win. Doesn't matter how you get it. In the end, as long as you walk away with the W, you can fly back home feeling good. And we understand that the Lions were a winless football team. That's not our fault. The Eagles, coming off of losing 2 straight games, certainly came into this game with a sense of urgency, and I like what I saw out there today. You know, had it even been a close win, we would have taken it, but we wouldn't have felt as good about it. You know, to watch them go out there and play the way they did today, run the football, play defense the way that they did, this is what we've been waiting to see all year long with this team, and hopefully it's something they can build off of.
No question. And with what you saw on both sides of the football, offense, defense, still some things to clean up on special teams, but I thought with how dominant they looked on both sides of the football, plenty to take away here from this one.
Well, and the big story this week was, yes, of course, Detroit is 0-7, but you couldn't count them out. They played the LA Rams tough last week. And so this was a big game for the Eagles. They had to come out here and win. But they not only won, like you said, they did it in dominant fashion, and a huge part of that is the defense and that run game we finally saw today.
Yeah, I think they did it by matching or even surpassing the sense of urgency that we thought the Lions may come in and play with. Again, the Eagles on the road, this is a game that they needed, and I love the mindset that they played with today. Forget about the Lions' record of being 0-7. You know, you take on this team like they're a 7-0 team, and you don't give them any room. And they ran the football. We played a physical style of football. We talked about the Lions wanting to establish that sort of brand of football, but it was the Eagles today with their running game allowing this offensive line to really just tee off on that Lions front seven.
And you don't know if this was one of the things that played into this, but I know, like, you've been in locker rooms where leading into a game, there's going to be the talk about the opponent, how tough they are, how physical they are, how competitive they are. And then you guys in the locker room are like, well, no one's talking about us and how tough we are and how physical we are. I kind of wonder if that played into this one a little bit, because that was the big discussion point everywhere here this week leading into this game.
Let's talk about that defensive front there. Racking up a ton of sacks today. They were blitzing. There was quarterback hits, a lot of pressure. That was a very bright spot in this game today. And it was good to see it wasn't just Josh Sweat, right? You saw Hassan Ridgeway. You saw, who else? Williams, that rookie, getting this shot today. And I think that is a huge positive for this defense who, especially in the past couple weeks, they've been receiving a lot of criticism for lack of pressure, if you will. But they came out swinging today.
Yeah, and I think we ought to give these coaches credit, right? I mean, they've taken heat. They're in their first year. Everybody believes they have the game plan to beat the opponents. And our coaches this year, they are growing each week, right? So we saw a little bit of that last week versus the Vegas Raiders, quarterback under center, showing some different things. I like that carried over into this week as well. We saw a lot more of that on the offensive side of the ball. But when you're talking about Jonathan Gannon and the defense, the ability to bring pressure from the second level. We saw multiple linebacker blitzes today. Jared Goff didn't have a lot of time back there in the pocket, and hopefully it's something that they can build on. But you have to gain the trust of the coach that when he dials these blitzes up, they aren't going to result in big plays, explosive plays. And today was the day to dial them up. Jared Goff not wanting to throw the ball down the field. He just had no time back there. to play quarterback today.
And I was really interested coming into this one. What would the defensive approach be? You know,
Yes.
after some of the defensive players coming out after the game last week and talking about the approach, and Jonathan Gannon saying, "Yeah, like I talked with our guys and got a sense of what they wanted more of and how we can incorporate that into the game plan." What would the approach be against an offense that we talked about it this week on Eagles game plan? Like they like to throw underneath. They want to get the ball to DeAndre Swift, get the ball to TJ Hawkinson. You don't necessarily need to play too far back against this offense. What did they do? They came out, they challenged, they did everything they got. The completions were still there for the quarterback, but you saw linebackers, safeties, everybody rallying to the football, limiting yards after catch, and getting off the field.
Well, it was a much different offense to game plan for. The Eagles have faced a lot of high-power offenses where they have that deep threat down the field, and the Eagles have done an excellent job in eliminating those deep passes. So today the challenge was stopping the run and stopping those intermediate passes. And that run defense has definitely been a struggle for the Eagles so far this year. And they couldn't get the ball going because there was so much pressure up front. Jared Goff, a lot of the time, couldn't even pass it off. And so you saw little glimpses from TJ Hawkinson, but really a quiet day for DeAndre Swift, too.
Yeah, I thought the safeties played closer to the line of scrimmage today. I mean, if TJ Hawkinson was going to catch the ball, he usually was hit immediately after the catch. That lets me know that Rodney McLeod, Epps is playing closer to the line of scrimmage and breaking on the football. And even with the backs coming out of the backfield, DeAndre Swift led the league in running backs with receptions and yards. So the thing you want to do is rally to the football, and that's what they were able to do today. If Jared Goff was going to dump that ball off to Swift coming out of the backfield, you needed to get as many guys to the football as possible. I thought the Eagles were keyed in on the game plan. Not as much man defense today. Saw a little bit more zone defense, and I like that because it allows the defenders to keep their eyes on the quarterback, and when he throws it, they can break on it and go make tackles.
And that's the thing, is like a lot of people expected that with the change in the offensive philosophy that they were facing, would the defensive philosophy change?
Right.
No, the way that the Eagles play, you can tweak a couple things here and there and still attack those quick game throws, those intermediate area throws, and the run game. And I think we saw that today. The big thing, they got off the field on third down and they impacted the quarterback. That was a huge, huge theme of today's game.
Huge. And you have to talk about Darius Slay here. He's been having a heck of a season, even amongst a lot of the struggles. Of course, little scoop and score, he had to say hello to those Detroit fans that he spent a long time playing in front of.
Yeah, happy for him. Anytime you get a chance to go back home and face your old team, I think I know a little bit about that. You certainly want to play well. The funny thing is I didn't play well when I came back to Philly to play. That was a bad game for me and the Atlanta Falcons.
We won't tell anyone.
Yeah, but it was good to see Slay make a play out there today. I know he probably wanted an interception. He didn't get tested very often, as most quarterbacks don't throw the ball in his area. But Johnny on the spot, Avonte Maddox, great Peanut Tillman punch to get that ball out of there. What does JG call it? The ball disruption?
Yep, get the ball on the ground.
Yeah, get that ball out of there. Avonte Maddox able to do that. Darius Slay right there, Johnny on the spot, scoop and score.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is that, you know, when we've seen the Eagles defense struggle in weeks past, the big thing was the lack of negative plays. And so whether you're creating those turnovers like we saw there on that play by Darius Slay and Avonte Maddox, or like we said, impact the quarterback, getting home for sacks and quarterback pressures. When you have those negative plays, it's a lot easier to get off the field. You get into third and long, and now all of a sudden you're forcing 3 and outs and 4 and outs. And we saw that early and often from this defense.
All right, we harped on the defense. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. We touched on it in our open here, that run game. Very successful today. It was a game of next man up, right? Miles Sanders on the IR. Jalen Reagor was featured in those opening drives, actually running the ball, and then he was ruled out. He was carted off the field. Big day for Jordan Howard and for Boston Scott to get in there. Yeah,
kudos to the offensive line. Great job they did today blocking up front. And kudos to Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen coming up with a game plan that would allow them to control the clock. You're winning on first and second down. We talked about this as well, Fran, earlier in the week. If you want to have sustained drives, you want to be able to spread the ball around, well, then you have to convert on third down. And that starts with winning or getting positive yards on first and second down. They were able to do that today. I thought they stayed in a lot more third and manageable situations. And it's because they made a commitment to running the football. And it's easier for a coach to stick with running the football when you're having success running the football. And they were able to do that today. I mentioned earlier about some of the formations and play designs that we saw in the Raiders game that they carried over into this game. Jalen under center a lot more. I think it's just, it makes the running game a lot better for the running back when the quarterback is under center as opposed to taking it from a shotgun. You can time those blocks up better. You can let them develop, and the running backs and hit the hole. Boston Scott, great job by him today. Gainwell, Jordan Howard, just a real tremendous job. And even Jalen with some of the quarterback runs. I just thought it was an all-around great effort, starting with the guys up front, the offensive line.
I think, to me, looking at the backs, I thought that I was really impressed with how decisive they were in hitting the hole, whether it was inside between the tackles or outside on the perimeter. I thought all three guys did an outstanding job of following their blocks, getting downhill. There wasn't a lot of dancing. They said, let's just get up as much positive yardage as possible. And to your point, on third down, the Eagles still didn't have a ton of success. They ended the game 5 of 10. A bunch of those third downs were late in the game. Yeah. Early on, I think they only had 4 or 5 third down conversions in the first 3 quarters. They did not have a lot of attempts on third down. That speaks to the success they had on first and second down. They were able to move the ball with efficiency. The run game, pass game, play action game, screen game, everything was at their disposal today. We saw the jet sweeps. We saw all kinds of things with this offense. And again, that comes to being efficient and staying on the field. They did it today with the run game.
And a big thing we've been talking about for a few weeks is their ability to really be efficient on first and second down. We saw in that first quarter, they had 7 first downs. Last week against Vegas, total, they had 8 first downs in that whole entire game. By the first quarter, they had almost the same amount of first downs. So that's a step forward. That's progress.
Yes.
That's excellent. And then when you can build that run game, then that opens up opportunities for the passing game.
It really does. It makes the passing game so much easier because as a defensive player, when you're running the ball down our throat like that, now we're edgy. Now we're on our toes. We want to get downhill fast, and then that's when the play action comes in, and you're hitting the tight end behind us or the receiver on the dig route behind us. So running the football sets up everything else. That's why when they did decide to throw the ball, Jalen pretty much had easy throws to make, and it's because the Lions were so focused on stopping the Eagles' running game, the play-action pass work, and Dallas Goedert getting in behind the linebackers was open all day for him.
We're going to head over to the press conferences in Detroit with Avonte Maddox.
Hey, Avonte, how was the homecoming?
Huh?
How was the homecoming?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, felt good, actually. I had my family here, and like I said, the kids from King, in my old high school, so definitely fun to be back home. First time here since a while, and I was happy to come out with a win.
I know you've been a fan of Darius Slayton before you were in the league. You forced a fumble, he returns for a touchdown. How sweet was that moment?
That was pretty nice. A little Detroit on Detroit right there. That's what I call it. So that was pretty cool. Punch out the ball, and I'm looking for the ball, and I just see 2 Slay running down into the end zone. So I was pretty hyped about that.
Did you spend time with the group of your high school that was here?
No, not really. I mean, we stayed so far out in Troy, and Detroit is a little bit ways, from definitely where I stay. But so I didn't get a chance to see some time with them. But when I get a chance to come back home, I will.
Did you guys play more man defense today?
Yeah. I mean, we changed it up a little bit. I mean, we played a little bit man, a little bit of everything. I mean, so JG did a great job with the scheme, and like I said, whatever he calls, we trust in it, and we do go out there, dominate and do our best as we can.
Having a different game plan, was that exciting for the players coming into this week? Getting to do some things you guys haven't done quite as much?
I mean, we're excited every week. I mean, whenever we come inside the building, there's nobody looking at anything different. So, when we come in, we just ready whatever JG puts out there for us. We ready to execute it and make our best out of it.
From a physicality standpoint, do you think you guys proved a little something today?
Yeah. I mean, it's good. We go up a lot of points, and offense definitely did a great job. We credit our defense. Playing really well on the defensive side of the ball, from the D-line to the back end. So, we are going to enjoy this one. We're going to keep pushing to the next one.
How did it help you guys stay fresh that on the opposite side of the ball you guys were running and kind of churning out drives?
Yeah, I mean, our offense did a great job with the ball. I mean, I don't even know how long we've been out on the field. They had the ball for a while, and they was running really well on that side. Credit to them. And, on our defensive side, just getting off the field was pretty big. Trying to get the ball back to our offense, giving them more opportunities to score. So, it works all ways, special teams as well. So, as we move on to next week, we're going to enjoy this one and keep going.
Back to the fumble, the punch out. JG been talking about that since the summer, training camp. And, you see Peanut Tillman, everybody tries to do that. Is that something you can practice, or is that still instinctive?
I mean, you can practice. I mean, just making it, an instinct, you don't want to have to think about it. You want to become an instinct at some point. So, I've been, since camp started, and I've been working on punching the ball out a lot, since JG been making so much big of an emphasis on it. And, I was running up to the guy, and I'm like, I'm about to punch this out. And, like, a lot of guys think, on contact, that's when they cover up. But I was going to punch it out, no contact. I wasn't even going for the tackle. I was going for the punch out. So, it came up big there and got us a turnover. Like I said, Slade got the chance to pick it up, so that's pretty cool. He got the return for the touchdown. And there you go right there. Pretty nice.
When did you get a sense during the game that this might be a little bit lopsided?
I don't really think like that. I just, I want to go out and, play my best football as I can, and limit mistakes, because, we don't want to beat ourselves. And that's when you don't want to get lackadaisical once you go up points. So it's never a mindset of us, this is about to be a turnaround or whatever, this and that. We just go out and we play each play like it's our last, and that's what I love about this defense. And, our coaches, they keep preaching that as well.
Do you think this can kind of be like this framework for you guys? And you came in losing 5 out of 6, had to rally, win the 1 game and everything.
Yeah, it starts with 1. You can go 1 and then you can go on, however many more we got left on the run. So, we're just going to enjoy this one, like I said, and, going into next week, starting Monday, we move on to the next, we're trying to go 1-0 next week. So, we enjoy this win today, next day put it behind us on Monday, and, we on to the next one.
We saw you were out there with Slay for the coin toss. When did you find out you were going to do that?
Today. Coach Nick, he had called me in like, yeah, you and Slade going out there, and that's pretty cool. I appreciate him for that. It was my first time being back at home and my first time playing the Lions, and I got the opportunity to walk out for the coin toss, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Did you see Miles Sanders tweeted about you punching the ball out?
No, I didn't even look at my phone yet.
Had you done that before on him in practice?
Yeah, I actually did. Punched it right out on him.
What did Slade say to you after you guys reconvened in the end zone?
I jumped over his head and, I got hyped and I walked up to him. I said, Slade, you think I can have that ball? He said, yeah, you got it, brother. I said, I'm trying to give it to my dad. So I just went up and gave the ball to my dad. So I appreciate Slade for that. That's pretty cool.
Why was that important to you to get the ball to your dad?
Because he's been there every game since the beginning, since I started playing any type of sport. He pushed me through a lot with it. And, he was always tough on me with it. And he didn't ever really get to come out to the away games because he works. So it was pretty cool to get him back at home, and this was his first game he came to this year, and I made a play of a turnover, and Slade was kind enough to give me the ball, and I was happy to give it to my dad.
What did you say to him?
I just tossed it up there like, yo, this is one for you, and he just gave me that big smile he always do. So I probably talked to him a little bit later. I couldn't really talk to him much because we can't really see the family much now. So I give him a call once I get on the bus and we'll chop it up.
Pick 2 more, yeah.
What was the conversation like amongst the defensive players this week coming off that Vegas game?
We go out and control what we can control, and we're gonna keep trying to dominate and getting better at whatever we have to get better at. Our little details, not beat ourselves, and make sure we execute on whatever it's called. And that was our big message, and we gonna all stick together in there, and that's the biggest thing. It's gonna turn around for us, and as we keep playing hard, it will.
Thanks, Avonte. Thank you.
That was Avonte Maddox. He was a very happy man today, but he's certainly been a bright spot this season. I think a very underrated bright spot, if you will, causing a lot of disruption in that secondary. And a lot of those guys have been leaning on him, I feel like, week in and week out because he's been so consistent. Yeah.
Back in his natural position in the slot. You got Steven Nelson and Slade on the outside. So I think Avonte is a nice slot corner. He has the size and the toughness to play down there in the slot. And like you said, Ali, he's been making plays all year. We highlighted a couple plays he made last week versus the Raiders. I think about the interception he had in that game last week. A couple weeks ago, he made a big play in the Carolina game where he broke up a touchdown. So, Avonte from that slot position just continues to get stronger, continues to get better. And I think having 2 veterans on the outside, that allows him to feel more confident and comfortable playing inside that slot. Got a nice little trio there of corners.
And another area area where I think he's gotten really good as well has been his comfort in coming downhill and playing against the screen game, against the run game. A lot of those runs to the perimeter that we saw in the first quarter of the season, we haven't necessarily seen them over the last month. And I think Avonte is a big reason why. He's done a nice job of rallying to the football, defeating blocks, and finishing one-on-one against ball carriers.
You kind of touched on it. I think his confidence alone, I feel like we've seen that grow the past few weeks. And maybe you're right, Ike. Maybe it is because he's working alongside some veteran players. But if that's what it takes to kind of cultivate that confidence within him, it's only going to pay off down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I think early in his career, he was moved around so much. I mean, I remember him playing safety. He's played on the outside when guys got injured in the past. This year, he's been pretty much allowed to play in the same position. And I think...
All right, Ike, I have to interrupt you. We have Dallas Goedert at the podium.
How much was Avonte talking about this game this week coming home?
He was really excited. You know, we got a few players from Detroit or people that played here, but Avonte was excited to come back, see some of his friends. I think his aunt and uncle were able to come to the game. He was really excited about that. That was the first time they got to see him. So, he played well, had that forced fumble late. So there's a lot of cool things. Really happy for him to be able to get a big win back in the city.
What was it like getting the running game going and kind of like, how did that kind of help you out early in the game especially?
Yeah, it was cool. The running backs did a hell of a job today. It didn't matter if they were getting hit in the backfield. They were still falling forward for 5. That was really cool. Great job by them. And, being able to run the ball like that, we were able to get our play action, be able to find some soft spots in the zone, getting the linebackers to step up because we were able to run the ball so well.
Yeah, on those two, you had 2 catches off play action downfield. Is it just the linebackers moving up, or what do you notice frees up space for you in those zones?
Yeah, it's when they see the run, they step up, the linebackers step up, and then they see that it's pass and they're scrambling to get back, and you just got to kind of know where they're going to drop in their zone and find the dead spot and just be a target for the quarterback.
You got almost half the targets in the pass game today. What's this like for you, being able to be featured?
I love it. Like I said, I think the running backs did a great job helping set stuff up. Jalen did a great job finding me, and I can always take as many targets as I'll get. I love catching the ball. I feel like I do a great job at it, and I can make plays with the ball in my hands. So, anytime I get that opportunity, I want to make the most of it.
2 games in now, with you being the guy, do you feel like you're able to get into a little bit better rhythm, not coming in and out of the game?
Yeah, I feel great out there. Just from being able to help the team run the ball to being the guy running the routes, catching the ball. I feel like I've stepped up to the job that I was given, and I'm just excited to keep growing with this team.
On the trick play, was that the design for Jalen to find you, and when you took Kenny's throw to Jalen?
Yeah, that was the design. I kind of buy my way through, sell like I'm run blocking, and then work my way across the field. And I look back for the ball, and I saw Jalen jumping up, one-handing it. And, I was impressed right there. And for him to be able to get that throw off and be able to catch it and do what we did there, it was pretty cool. It was just the ball was going our way today.
It's kind of funny with Zach gone and Miles out, and yet this game you guys played more, multiple tight ends than you have all season. You ran the ball more than you have all season. What was it about this matchup that you guys liked?
We got 3 tight ends on the roster right now with Jack Stoll and Richard Rogers, who, Jack came in as an undrafted guy, and he wants to do whatever he can to, make the team better. And when he's on the field, he's sticking his head in there, run blocking his butt off, and if you got a player like that that's going to do it, Rich comes in, does the same thing. If you got tight ends that do that with the O-line that we have, we can kind of roll anybody off the ball, and, it's just going to help the team the better we can run the ball. And, when we started moving the ball, getting 5+ yards of carry, I think it was just an easy choice to stay with it.
What stood out about the team this week coming off of that Vegas game?
It really started on Wednesday. Coach Sirianni had a great team meeting, and it was some of our best 3 practices of the year. We were flying around on Wednesday, looked really crisp. Thursday, same thing. And then, you get into the more situation. Everybody was locked in, paying attention to the details. And, I think that's what showed just how hard we worked at practice. And then coming into the game, it really showed how detailed we were and able to do a lot of things.
One more, we'll get Boston.
Even though you guys didn't throw it a lot today, Dallas, does it help you to get in the flow of the game, even though it's run blocking and you're not shoveling in and out?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can put together 11, 12 plays drives and end it with a touchdown, I mean, I think that gets everybody going. I think that's just, when you're on the field for 12 plays at a time, you get in a rhythm, you get in a groove, you're moving the ball, everybody's feeling good. Like we say a lot, execution fuels emotion, and that's kind of what we did today. We were executing the plays. People were stepping up on third down. Jalen was scrambling for first downs. People were just making plays when we needed them, and, that's what we got to continue to do if we want to be successful.
Thanks, Sal.
Boston, obviously you didn't want to not be involved in the offense in those first 7 games, but having fresh legs, how much did that kind of help you and Jordan, respond to kind of have more playing time?
Yeah, man, we went out there, we had fun, we just did our job, man. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. That's what the NFL is, man. Whenever that opportunity knocks, that's when you got to step up and you got to go out there and produce. And me and Jordan have, been motivating each other during the time leading up to this moment. And, I think we did a good job going out there, things to correct, things to, improve on. But overall, we're committed to helping the team. That's all we want to do.
Why was the running game when you guys were preparing for this game, why was the running game so prevalent in your game plan?
We just wanted to be physical. You know what I mean? We just that's what we had in our mind going through the week. So whenever we got out there and saw, productive runs, staying ahead of the sticks, you know what I mean? Just being productive in the run game that warrants more opportunities. And so, that's kind of what it was.
What were those first 6 weeks like for you not getting in on offense?
I'm a competitor, you know what I mean? But I'm still going to show up every day and work, you know what I mean? I'm not going to let, myself and what I want, to like negatively impact the team, you know what I mean? So if I wasn't getting reps, whenever I was going to help out on the scout team, I was playing receiver, I'm playing running back, whatever I needed to do to help this team until my opportunity came, you know what I mean? So that's what I was committed to. Like I said, at the end of the day, I want to help this team in whatever way I can. I've been on the scout team before. I was a walk-on, you know what I mean? So I just continued to work, knowing that my opportunity was going to come, and then also having, coaches around, to help me, to continue to motivate me. But I was just committed to just keep working, man. Put your head down, because it's easy to get frustrated and caught up in the circumstances, you know what I mean? But opportunity comes, and you're frustrated and whatever, you might miss it, and so just staying locked in, continuing to work is, and being patient is important.
So did you say that you were from a personal level, Boston, how do you fend off that frustration? Because you said you were walk-on before. You've been through it, but you've also been successful since then. So how do you get back in that mindset?
I just think it's patience, man, and really, really putting things into perspective. You know what I mean? I think, every time you take a step on that field, it's a blessing. If you look at it as an opportunity, if you look at it in that positive light, it can definitely help your perspective. You know what I mean? If you think that you're entitled to this, entitled to that, and then we all battle with that type of thing. You're a competitor. You did this or whatever. You know what I mean? But as I talked about in the offseason, each year is a new year, and you got to earn it. You got to prove it, each year. That's all it is, point blank, period. You know what I mean? You can either, take that as however, or you can use it as motivation, personally, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what it is.
Did you say coaching? When you're running the ball effectively like that, do you sense that it deflates the defense more than maybe if you're having effective through the air? Just the physicality.
I think it definitely can be a morale breaker. You know what I mean? Just stop us. You know what I mean? That's just stop us. If you don't, we're going to keep doing it.
You and Jordan obviously had to wait your turn. Did it help having him to lean on, and did he lean on you as well?
I feel like we all leaned on each other. You know what I mean? We all lean on each other, man. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, at the end of the day, what we're committed to is helping out this team. You know what I'm saying? And so we just worked every day, whether it's on scout team, getting reps with the starters, with the ones. It don't matter, man. We love the game of football. We're competitors. We believe in ourselves. But most of all, we want to help this team.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks,
How y'all doing?
How are you?
Good.
I think you guys ran the ball a lot more than what you guys have done in the past. Do you feel like this has helped you guys establish an identity now as a team?
Yeah, I think, again, we do what we need to do to win football games and what we think is best to win football games. We got some good runs early on, and when the offensive line kept coming back to the sideline saying, hey, we got a lot of momentum right here. We're pushing them up front. And so we just kept staying with it. And I thought Jalen did a good job of checking us in and out of some plays and in and out of some looks. And so, yeah, we did what we needed to do to win this football game, and it was great to see us be able to run the football like that. So it played really physical up front, and that's where it always starts right there.
How much of the running attack was pre-planned and how much then did change?
Yeah, I mean, in our openers, we had I can tell you this, guys, I don't mind, but the openers, our first 7 plays, we wanted to have 5 runs and 2 passes on that. So we wanted to establish the run game early. We felt like we really value our offensive line and what they can do. So that's what we wanted to go out and start. We had some good play action game off of it that Jalen executed well. And so, yeah, that was definitely part of our plan to be able to go out there and run football like we did.
How do you have the plan today?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, why was that the plan today?
Just what we think about going into a defensive game. We felt like we had an advantage up front, the way they were playing some of their middle field open coverages, and so that's the main reason. Our guys up front, and then some of the middle field open they were playing. Now they pulled back a little bit on some of that middle field open. They did some pressures to try to stop it and this and that, but we had already got some momentum going on that, so we just kept riding it.
From play calling about what happened about the performance on defense and Gannon's play calling.
I'm sorry, say it again. When I can't see your guys' mouth, it's hard for me to hear you.
What stood out about the performance on defense to you and Gannon's play?
Yeah, again, what I appreciated about Jonathan is just his dog mentality in that. I know he's been having to answer a lot of questions. We've been having to answer a lot of questions. He went and did what we had to do to win that game. We put a little bit more pressure on him, and as you can see, we got to the quarterback a little bit more than we have. And so again, it started up front there, to lean on those guys up front, and that's at any level that you're playing. High school football, college football, pro football. If you win up front the way we went up front, you're going to be able to win football games. So it was relying on those guys there to win up front initially, and then just tightening it up in the coverage with some more man-to-man, a little bit more zone match when they gave us a couple different looks to be able to still match even if we were in zone coverages.
I heard you say each week you got to do what it takes to win, whether it's based upon the defensive scheme or whatever plays to your strengths. But is this formula maybe a little more what you need with Jalen?
And that's a good.
Jalen, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's a good. Jeff, that's a good point because yes, you do it that way, but you also got to do what you do well, right? And so I think that's what we're saying. We're able to push some guys around. It's up front, and so it is. It's a combination. It's a both and. It's yes to both, right? You want to do what the defense is allowing you to do while still doing the things that you've been successful with. So yeah, it's great when you're able to run the football like that. It opens up everything else again because I know we didn't throw for very many yards. But the play action game, the chunks that we got to Dallas, particularly in the play action game, came off of some very unique run looks that we did earlier in the game, and they had to bring the extra guy down to stop the run. And so, again, yes. So to answer your question, it's both. It's what you're doing well. It's what you want to continue to build on with your offense, but also what the defense is giving you. So it's a fine line, but you got to do both of those things.
What about the Jalen element, though, just kind of helping him a little bit?
I like when he's able to. Again, I think Jalen's got big shoulders, and I think he's able to handle a lot. I really do. But we know that he's still in his. Essentially, you can say he's still in his rookie year as far as starts goes. And so, yeah, that's going to be able to help him out. And when you're able to run it like that, it's gonna create space from him in the offensive line on the play action game. So again, we're evolving. We're evolving every week on offense. Again, I think that's the main thing is that we're evolving each week on offense. We're figuring out more and more what we do well, and just evolving. And that's just the mentality of what we talk about in there is get better every single day. That's just not a player thing. That's a coach thing. That's an everybody thing. If we all live by that and we all get better each day, then good things are going to happen.
What kind of Jordan in Boston so effective? Was it just like their physical style running, or was it more to it?
I think again, it's always going to start up front. It's always going to start up front. I think they got the way those guys up front were pushing it around was really good. And I think Miles would have had a big game today too. I don't want to take anything away from Boston or Jordan because they played phenomenal games. But it started up front, and I just think they got behind their pads and they went and they finished the job when when the offensive line got the push. It was really interesting to see in the red zone. Those guys finish in the red zone. So you were getting this surge. We weren't blocked. There was a couple guys on the second level we weren't getting to because they had 6 on the line. And so we were getting such a push right there. They were just able to ride that block in there. And just a tribute to them of, and that's just a great trick. But I do want to point out, like what you just said right there with Boston and Jordan, like you wait your turn. You wait your turn. And I don't want to even say it like that. You're not where you want to be exactly on the depth chart, but inevitably in this game, there's going to be some bumps and bruises, and the next man has to step up. And I just thought they did an excellent job there. I think you guys asked me on Friday about Jordan and his opportunity that he might get, and I think I mentioned that, he's just been such a good pro through it all, right? And Boston too, right? He's had a lot of success here in the past. And so they've just been pros. They've come to work every single day, and they were able to reap the benefits today.
You bring that up, the bumps and bruises and guys need to step up. Nate Herbig came in, and your running game didn't suffer at all.
Yeah.
What does it say about a guard to come in when you have such a run-heavy play and you're able to execute it?
Yeah, and I mean, just a tribute to how Nate prepares, right, throughout the week. And, he gets to get some practice reps. We get to mix a little bit. So he gets a little bit of practice reps in there with the ones also. But he prepared himself all week, just like he was starting. And so just a tribute to him that he was able to come in and not miss a step. The guys trust him. The guys next to him trust him. The guys behind him trust him, right? And so, and then us as coaches trust him. And so I just think he did a great job stepping in for Jack's injury and just not lose, and we didn't lose a step because of it. And that's you get obviously excited about that because the depth of the offensive line. Like we've had some bumps and bruises around the offensive line, and this is just another example of guys stepping up and playing.
What you were talking about before, Nick, about the finding out what it is that you do well. In your experience, how long does that usually take, and are there other examples of potentially figuring out that it's not what you thought, and that it's maybe something else that you do well?
Yeah, I don't think there's ever just a real timetable on it. I think it's just, it's trial. I don't want to say trial and error either, because we know what we want to be good at. We know, but sometimes it does take time. And I'm not saying it's never a finished product. We're not there yet, right? It's going to always be evolving. And so, again, don't want to put a timetable on. I'm just excited the way that our guys ran the football today and with the way we physically dominated up front.
With Jalen Ricoh early in the game, seemed to be a few more manufactured touches, a little bit more motion. Was that part of the aggressiveness because of the opponent?
Yeah.
Or the evolution you had to throw back to?
Yeah. Again, you want to be able to steal yards in certain ways, and you're not always able to run the gadget reverse or the jet sweep that we did. The DNs have to cooperate, right? And you got to have certain techniques out of defensive ends. Some games you don't go in with any of those planned. The way we scouted this team and the way they were with their defensive ends, we thought that they gave us an advantage to get Jalen some touches because we want to get Jalen some touches because he's a dynamic playmaker with the ball in his hands. So, we were able to steal some yards. I think I always look at it, for whatever reason, I always look at it as like stealing yards on offense when you get 10-yard gains or more on jet sweeps and arounds. And the other thing it does, and so we were able to steal, 25 yards of offense on those couple gadgets on runs. And the other thing it does is now those jet motions that you do and the next teams have to be alert for that, right? The defensive end next game might not be able to chase hard on outside zone the next game because he's up the field because he's got to be worried about the around. So it does set some things up. But again, you go into that, and so that goes back to what Jeff asked. Like you don't. Yes, you might want to have it part of your plan, but sometimes the defense has to cooperate for it to be part of your plan as well.
Is relief among the emotions after this win, Nick? I mean, the team's been under a lot of heat. You've been under a lot of heat. To see them kind of respond to you guys and maybe show that what you guys are teaching is starting to step
Well, I think what we have to look at first, and I don't want to say relief, it's round 8 to us, right? Today was round 8 for us, and my message to them was, hey, sometimes it just takes a big round. It takes a round where you cut somebody to, in a win round to build some momentum. And so, but there was no secret to why, in my opinion, and I think for the guys, there was no secret to why we performed well today. It happened every day in practice. And I'm not saying we haven't practiced. I mean, like what happened on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was the intensity was so high, the detail was so high. It was just, again, that was our message to continue to grow. And the only way to continue to grow is if you're going to have intensity in practice and you're going to have detail. And I think the guys locked into that, and they practiced well all week. Jalen practiced well all week. We really felt confident, both offensively, defensively, and special teams with how we practice. And that just gives you confidence going in, because the way you practice, I don't care what level you're at, the way you practice is going to be similar to the way you play in that game.
Last one, guys. On defense, how key was it when you were able to get pressure with just 4?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. And so you get the guys that we have up front. You know, I think obviously Josh Sweat had a great game, and Derek Barnett had a phenomenal game, and they just continue. And then when you're getting pushed up the middle with Fletch and with Hargrave, like you're just able to tighten up in coverage and have more guys back there. That's huge, right? One less guy in the secondary means one little bit more hole, right? When you bring it in. Now we brought some pressures, but to be able to get pressure with your front 4 obviously is big, and that goes back to what we talked about with the offensive line, right? It doesn't matter what level, you win every game. You win games up front with the physicality of your team. And so, again, just really excited with the way our defense played. But, you know, it's one game, and we're going to enjoy this one, but round 9 starts tomorrow, and we're going to need a similar performance next week from our offensive and defensive line next week when we play the Chargers.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
We got
I guess this might have been the most we've seen you play for the season. Was it just week specific, or do you feel like this is what we're going to see going forward, or do you hope it is?
Yeah, no, you know, I don't make those calls, so I don't really know about that. But, you know, I know each week of what my role is going to be, and just try to go out there today and do the best I could. And, you know, obviously I got a lot of help out there, a lot of good players around me, but I felt just on defense as a whole, we played really well today.
Why do you think there have been so many little tweaks to the linebacker rotation all season long? On a week-to-week basis, is it communicated to you the why for that, or is it just this is your role this week?
Yeah, I think the coaches do such a good job of letting us know ahead of time, you know, what our role is going to be, like I said, and then kind of why he sees us doing that in terms of this is what they do, this is what, you know, our strength as a player is, and this is kind of their strength of their certain scheme. So our coaches do a good job just trying to match scheme and the strengths of the backers in the room.
Why do you think the blitzes were so effective today?
I think we just did a good job of kind of showing, you know, the similar coverages, and then bringing pressure from those looks. And you know, we've had things schemed up like this, but just haven't had the down and distance to get us in those spots. And today we had, you know, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, and we were able to rush and let our D-line, you know, get after them too.
Overall, it seemed like a more aggressive game plan for you guys. Is that something you can carry over, or is that game specific?
I think, again, it's just getting them, you know, past couple weeks it's been, you know, 2nd and 1, you know, 3rd and 2, things where it's hard to be aggressive at times. And today we got them in backed up situations. And, you know, with our D-line, you can also let them rush on 3rd and long, but, you know, at times you can bring pressure, which is what we did this week.
Does it help, TJ, that obviously their playmakers, DeAndre, TJ, are, you know, they're not outside the numbers. They're inside the numbers typically. Is it more about just getting them 3rd and long, or does it help to when you don't have as much dynamic players outside?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think playing good defense is staying ahead of the sticks at all times. You know, when a team is really good on 1st and 2nd down, it's going to be a longer day. And when you're not stopping the run, you're not getting those checkdowns down quick. Again, it makes it just tougher for the defense as a whole. So I thought today we just did a good job of rallying the tackles. You know, making sure that those yards aren't bleeding and getting to them on 3rd down. So it was good today.
Nick, you mentioned that how high the intensity was throughout the course of this week. What do you think it was about kind of this moment that allowed the team to react the way that it did?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously coming in this week, we weren't, you know, happy as a team. We wanted, you know, the results to be different, but we knew that all that starts with practice. And we came in this week, I thought everyone had a fire about them. The leaders, you know, Rodney, Fletch, all those guys were, you know, getting things going. And I thought all week, you know, we just had guys flying around, you know, not happy with the results, and it showed up today.
Okay. Thanks.
Appreciate you guys.
the ball in your hands, but how proud are you that your teammates kind of were the focal point around you in this game and you guys came out?
I think coming out today, first and foremost, coming out today and getting a win, something we've been striving for. And, we had a great week of preparation. Came together this week, came out here and got the win. Ran the ball extremely well. Really kind of dominated the line of scrimmage for most of the game. And that's what we just showed we can do that. So we want to be consistent with that moving forward. Defense played they played their ass off. They got turnovers and sacks. Made big time plays throughout the whole game. So it's a great team win. It's a great team win.
Could you guys play today be a formula for this offense?
I think we just want to continue to grow, right? You know what I'm saying? We have a 24-hour rule on everything, wins and losses. And we've come out through this season and we've played different type of football in a lot of these games. And I think that has been figuring out the identity of who we are. You know what I'm saying? Probably going to ask me, what is the identity? And I think the identity is just continue to mesh all of these great things we have, this melting pot of being able to throw the ball, being able to run the ball, being able to be an effective offense and whatever it is we choose to do. So we just want to continue to be efficient, but in the end, you want to put points on the board, and we did a good job of that today, and we won the game.
Nick mentioned the preparation this week and how much the intensity picked up. Did you notice a difference? Did you see more intensity, and why do you think there was?
I think we all challenge each other. We all challenge each other. Coaches challenge the players, players challenge the coaches. To come together and raise the standard of what we want. And I think when you have those things, when you go through things, when you have to overcome adversity, you find out who you really are. And we're in a situation where we're overcoming things, and we want to take this as a stepping stone for us and continue to build.
What did you learn about Jordan and Boston today? Just the fact that these guys barely played. First Jordan was on the practice squad, and Boston hadn't played the first 6 games.
Yeah, nothing's really a surprise to me. It's a testament to the hard work that they put in and the patience they've had to wait for the opportunity to come like a game today, and what a job they did of taking advantage of it. They came out. They played well, toted the rock, yards after contact. I mean, they did a hell of a job.
You had some dynamic scrambles today. Did you feel it was necessary to take off in those situations?
Yeah, I think I could have hit one to Smitty, threw it a little outside. Always things to improve on. You know what I'm saying? We had runs in the run game that we probably could have been home run hitters. A block away. So there's always room for improvement in every area of our games, and we're going to continue to try and get better. We took a step from last week to this week. They did a better job of eliminating mental errors, got out of the huddle quicker. We're very efficient as an offense and as a defense and special teams. So overall, it's a great team win, and we want to build off of it.
What's the name?
It's an H.
For Houston or for Hurts?
Whatever you want it to be.
What does it say about Nate Herbig that you guys had such a run-heavy game? He comes in after a really early injury, and you guys don't seem to beat.
Oh, great. Nate he's a hell of a player. You know what I'm saying? He came in last year and played his tail off. And held his own and was really one of the top guards at his position. And came in last year and played a lot of left guard. He's come in this year, played some left guard, and now he's at right guard. But he's a guy that can do it all. He can play center as well. So I got a lot of love for Nate and his ability and his commitment to the team. Being a little, Swiss Army knife and being able to do it all.
Are you okay throwing only 14 times? If that's the way it's
I'm okay with winning. I say the same thing every week.
Tell us about the throwback from Kenny. You didn't tell us you were a receiver too.
I didn't realize I caught it with one. It just kind of happened, I guess. But I've kind of been through, the downs and the ups, and I don't really care about anything else but winning.
And so you said you guys can build more. What specifically do you want to take from this game that you can apply?
I think it's deeper than the outcome of it, right? You see the outcome of a game, and I like to say a pretty dominant win, but it's in the preparation, how we challenge each other this week, how we upheld the standard. Now it's another challenge moving forward, doing that Again, this week, going into a home game versus a really good team in the Chargers. So be ready to play. You know what I'm saying? Build off of it. But our head down, we ready to go to work, enjoy it on the way home and for 24 hours and move on for the next one.
With the coaches and players challenging each other, what does that look like with players challenging coaches, I guess, during the course of the week? When does that happen?
I think it's to every root in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, you got to have great communication. You got to have belief and trust in everybody around you, and that's something that we've getting better at. We're getting better at, and we've grown to come closer in, and that determines the success of a football team. So we just want to continue to build, lean on one another, trust one another, go out there and make plays for one another, and know at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna go out there and play my butt off for the guy next to me. Because we put it in, we put the work in. You know what I'm saying? We can't really be result-oriented. You got to focus on the process and focus on what it takes to get there. So we've had a lot of opportunities. I've said it all year. Thus far, a lot of opportunities to learn from every game, good, bad, or indifferent. And we'll have that same mindset moving forward and truly coming together and continue to rise up. We just want to continue to rise up and attack everyone in front of us.
Thanks, Jalen.
Thank you.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome back to us. And you talked to Fox Sports about what you've gone through since you were diagnosed with college with your anxiety issue. Where are you right now? Can you gauge that? Do you know? Can you tell?
Yeah, I feel stable. So basically what hindered me from going was I'm on a medication, an SSRI, and had really bad withdrawal symptoms. So and that's really something, football wasn't even a question at the time. It was something that I felt even before the season, some of the stuff I was feeling. And I didn't really, told a few close friends, but really kept it bottled up because I felt ashamed of it. I felt like it was a crutch. But coming back, the support I've had from the team, from my friends, from my family, I mean, I couldn't ask for nothing better. And getting out here and playing football again is, you're reminded how lucky you are to be in the position that you are. And so taking it day by day.
Can you explain what your medication status is now? Are you on a different medication? Was it like a level thing? And what does it do?
Yeah, so basically going from something that takes time to build in your system and then thinking that you're, tapering off the correct way. And I wasn't. So I went from a very, mediocre dose to nothing. And so pretty much the side effects is, it's almost like you had the flu. A lot of nausea, a lot of vomiting. And it's something that stays. It doesn't go away. And that's what I was dealing with. And so, when I got back, got the help that I needed and moving forward, just playing, man. I enjoy playing football. I enjoy the people I'm around. I enjoy the community that I'm around. It's one thing about this city. Kelsey was talking about it's easy to play here, but yeah, man, just be raw, just be real. That's what I dealt with. It was terrible. I don't wish it on nobody, but moving forward, I don't want sympathy, man. I got tons of friends. I got tons of help. And now I just want to focus being the best right tackle that I can be.
Who are some of the people who have been able to help you through this?
Really, everybody on the team. Brandon especially, I think he can relate to it maybe more than me. So it's really difficult to describe, the people that felt, quote, unquote, normal. Really everybody. The coaching staff, Coach Sirianni, Dom. Those guys have always, especially Dom, has had my back, ever since I've been here. A lot of stuff has transpired through 9 years. So, having that back is critical. And today was a good day.
What is the message that you would have for people that suffer from the same type of disease?
I don't know, I guess the real message is just don't bottle it up. And it's easy to do that. It's easy to avoid the situations that you don't want to go through, something that's going to be difficult. So I guess.
Did you kind of hide this from Brandon when he was going through it? Or
No,
were you guys
no.
always...
Me and Brandon pretty much have a very similar condition. My stuff started ever since my first year in college in JUCO. And I didn't know, I wasn't educated in the matter at the time. When I got to OU, that's when I was, I guess, officially diagnosed. So I've dealt with this for a long time. So, but
What was it, I mean, you obviously mentioned medication, but how tough was it what was it about that morning besides that?
it wasn't that. I mean, it was really the week leading up to it. I mean, I don't want to compare it to other withdrawal symptoms, but it's right up there, and that's what I was going through. So I got help from that, and really.
Just to clarify, you said you thought it was like a crutch. Is that why you kind of weaned yourself off of it?
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, to be honest. So, yeah, and really, that's what it was. I guess pride, let your pride get in the way. That's really at the end of it.
What does it say about the level of respect that this team has for you and your teammates have for you? And obviously, it's kind of hard to keep something quiet in Philadelphia. What does it say about the ability to keep your privacy?
Well, the bad news is that I think a lot more people have it than what it meets the eye. I think it's easy to put on a poker face, in life, just in general. I mean, it's easy to do that. So, but really, just talking about it.
What made you feel like you were ready to come back?
Say it again.
What made you feel like you were ready to come back?
My body felt normal. I wasn't going through the withdrawal symptoms that I was, and so something that was going on for really close to 2 months. So that was a key factor.
Now that you are back, I mean, does it kind of give you a different perspective, playing football and everything after what you went through?
Yeah, I guess I just laid it out all on the table. I mean, that's a really genuinely how I felt. I mean, what I'm saying to you is what I've said to a lot of people and to everybody. So.
You're a really important person. You're a really important player on this team. How important was a win here today? And do you think this could be construed as kind of a statement game for your franchise going forward?
I don't know about statement game. It was a good game. I think the stretch we have coming up, and we got to really just attack it like we did this week. I think we had an excellent run game today, and that was as an offensive lineman, that's a lot of fun. Getting to do that, getting the fire off the ball.
Was it overdue in your opinion? I mean, you guys have shown the capacity to be productive when you've been given the chance to run block and run the ball. Do you think that maybe this coaching staff is learning the strengths of this team after 7 or 8 games here?
Yeah, I mean, really, when you go back and look at it, you start off how you want to in Atlanta, and then you get kind of stale. But when you go and look at the situations, you get down in those games, you're going to throw the ball. I mean, much like today, Detroit, you get behind, 14, whatever. You get in those situations, it is what it is. It becomes a passing game. The game changes.
Were you one of the guys that went to Nick on the sideline and offensive lineman said, "Hey, let's keep running it. We feel like we're winning off
today"?
Yeah, he said that some of the guys came in.
Yeah, I just think really from the jump, I guess you could see it how it was going to go, and it kept becoming, I guess, the most consistent that we've had so far this season, and so I just kept fueling it, I guess.
Was the ankle a complicating factor?
So
Your ankle, was that a complicating factor at all throughout this?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough issue dealing with. I mean, for the past 2 years, but today I felt good. I mean, I've been feeling pretty good for the most part. So.
Lee, that Sunday, did you drive back to Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Can you just help explain what was was going through your mind at that time, and then how you ended up kind of coming back in that process as much as you can?
Yeah, I told my mom, I told my dad, I said where I was at. So. It wasn't an enjoyable thing. I didn't, a lot was going through my head, and really for the duration of the time, a lot was talked about. So yeah, I mean, playing last week, playing this week, I'm just looking forward to the Sunday stacking up.
There's going to be incredible pressure with having that disorder. How can football now kind of be a release for you? Is it kind of helping you?
Yeah, but I think a lot more people suffer. I remember hearing a stat at the combine that most 40 to 50% of people in this type of in the NFL have some sort of condition. At the same time, you know, it can do a lot of things for you, but a lot of times it can become detrimental.
A lot of us in the field, you mentioned earlier that you encourage people who are dealing with things like this to don't bottle it up. So how good did it feel for you to make that announcement and draw awareness to something like this?
Yeah, I just felt, coming from the heart. I mean, I didn't really want to. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do the deal with Jay. Even in the interview, there was more detail, like what I'm talking about today, what I was dealing with, what I was feeling. That was all covered. It was probably left out, but I just wanted to remove all questions. Moving forward, just keep stacking games and winning games. That's the most important.
What was the message from your parents when you were talking to them on that Sunday? What were they telling you?
I mean, they were behind me. They were concerned, but I knew what I had to do, and they were behind that. So.
One question, just talking about the pressures of playing at this level, and I know it affects not just you in that locker room and Brandon, probably more guys. Does the NFL need to do? I mean, does there need to be more done about this from the league and from teams to help everybody?
Yeah, I just think, I don't know, if you truly look in the mirror and you truly and don't try to dismiss things, I think a lot, the whole message is communication and working through that, and I guess putting your pride aside and doing that. So.
A lot of us have known you for 9 years. We've kind of seen you as an outgoing guy, seen kind of your highest moments here. How much has this been affecting you behind the scenes without us or the public knowing about it?
Well, mine and Brandon's situation may be a little bit different, but a lot of it's very similar. So a lot of stuff when he was going through it, I understood because you talked about how he puked every game day. I mean, I was right there with him, 5:30. So, he was probably the main guy to help, with this situation, and I think how he handled it was phenomenal, and I think he was liberated from it, and so that was really it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That was right tackle Lane Johnson, his first time speaking since making his return. We also heard from a handful of players and head coach Nick Sirianni. All the players kind of had the same message. A win's a win, but now it's time to stack them. So let's go back to one of the bright spots from earlier today. Fran was able to break down one of the big sacks we saw from the defense in this week's Rico Review.
So this week here on the Rico Review, I want to take a look back at some of the defensive performance here in the first half. The Eagles shutting out the Detroit Lions in the first two quarters, 17-0, and a big part of that was the pressure on quarterback Jared Goff. 4 sacks in the first half. Let's take a look at this one by Derek Barnett, who you can see here at the bottom of your screen. It's 3rd and 8, and what are the Eagles trying to do? They're going to blitz linebacker Alex Singleton into the B gap, so he's going to rush from the second level. Jared Goff, when he takes the snap, he's going to look opposite way, which is the right way to look here on this pressure. But what happens here? You've got TJ Edwards buzzing out underneath these 3 vertical routes. So the Eagles have a safety over the top. You've got 2 underneath defenders here in quarterback Darius Slay and Avonte Maddox, and then you add TJ Edwards into the mix there. Now all of a sudden you've got 4 defenders over 3 receivers, and Jared Goff does not like what he sees. Now let's take a look at what happens here on the play. Alex Singleton, again, he's going to blitz from depth. He is going to try and get through this B gap. The running back steps up. Jared Goff looks over to his right, doesn't like what he sees here as these routes are developing, and as soon as he sees Alex Singleton kind of jump over this block, now he's going to try and escape through the back door, and what does that do? That's exactly where Derek Barnett is going to be rushing from. He's going to take this speed rush right into quarterback Jared Goff. A sack for minus 15 yards. Good blitz there on 3rd and long, results in a sack. Huge play there for the Eagles defense. Again, 4 sacks in the first half. Big part of why the Lions were shut out in the first 2 quarters.
Now is your chance to vote for the Toyota Player of the Week. Go to PhiladelphiaEagles.com/Toyota Player of the Week to cast your vote and get a chance at a brand new Toyota. Okay, let's look at the 3 nominees for this week. Starting with linebacker TJ Edwards, his 13 total tackles for the day and his quarterback hit. Next up, Boston Scott. Some of him know as next man up. 2 touchdowns on the day. And lastly, Josh Sweat. 2 sacks for the big guy today. What do you guys think?
Well, I think I'm gonna have to go with the linebacker today.
Were you just speechless?
Yeah, I gotta go to the linebacker, man. TJ Edwards, man, come on. I didn't know. Boston Scott, nice day for Boston Scott. 2 touchdowns, set the tone with the running game. But he was matched by Jordan Howard also.
Yeah.
You know, Josh Sweat had a couple sacks. But I gotta go with the linebacker. Get a linebacker some love, Frank.
All right, I like it. I'm going to go with Josh Sweat here in this one. Not only did he have the 2 sacks, but he also forced Jared Goff into a couple incompletions, a couple of them being on 4th down, forced a couple of errant throws there by the quarterback. So I will go with Josh Sweat here in this one. Really standing out in this game.
All right, well, make sure you get your votes in on this week's Toyota Player of the Week. We're going to flip the page. Next week, the Los Angeles Chargers are coming to town. Let's take a look at the Jameson nightcap. The Chargers are playing right now as we speak against the Patriots. They're 4-2 this season. Justin Herbig, he is having a heck of a year. Big challenge for the Eagles coming up. They are back at home, playing at home, which is a good thing. Eagles fans are ready to welcome them back.
Yeah, this will be a little bit different offensive challenge, right? I mean, going up against this Chargers offense, Justin Herbig in his 2nd year, already establishing himself as one of the bright, young, top quarterbacks in the league. You look at the weapons at his disposal. It'll be interesting to see what do we do defensively to try to slow down this Chargers offense. And they present a pretty good challenge for us all from a defensive standpoint as well. So a much stiffer opponent next week with the Chargers as opposed to what we saw today.
Justin Herbig is a baller. He is really, really good. But that offense, they don't push the ball down the field as much as you would expect. And then you go to that defense, they've got a ton of blue-chip talent. They do all the same things philosophically that the Eagles do here in Philadelphia. A lot of split safety, a lot of zone coverage, safeties playing deep off the ball, lighter boxes. So all those same things we see here with this Eagles defense, you're going to see that with the Chargers here next week at Lincoln Financial Field.
Well, it's going to be a big week of preparation. Luckily, there's a lot of film to keep us busy this week to break on down and get ready for the big matchup next Sunday at 4:05 p.m. As always, we'll be here for the kickoff show before things get started, and then we'll be right back here immediately following the game for the postgame show. But for now, Ike Reese has some Halloween candy he's got to dig into, so we got to go. The postgame show presented by Rico. I'm Gabriella DiGiovanni. For Fran Duffy and Ike Reese, we'll see you next time.